Our next speaker is Mike O'Donnell. Mike O'Donnell has over 20 years experience managing recycling and hazardous waste programs, including product stewardship efforts for a variety of products. Mike is the managing director of the Mattress Recycling Council and is responsible for the implementation of statewide mattress collection programs in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and California. Mike will be sharing with us today California's Used Mattress Recovery and Recycling Act. Please welcome Mike up.
Got it. Rebecca, thank you for the invite. It's really nice to be speaking to a captive audience. If you're not aware, I'm Mike O'Donnell with the Mattress Recycling Council. We are the latest product stewardship program to hit California. We started on December 30th of this past year. So, I'm going to give you an overview of who we are, what we do, how the program mechanics work, how we're doing so far. We're only 3 months into the program, and where it's going to go from here. So 2013, California passed SB 254, and that created the legislative framework for the development of our program. The MRC, we are a nonprofit. We were created by ISPA, the International Sleep Products Association. We are fully backed by the industry, and they support what we are doing. As a nonprofit, our task is really targeted. We're not a lobbying organization. We are simply here to implement these mattress recycling laws. Program objectives, they're pretty simple. Right now, we anticipated that in previous years there were only something like 300,000 to 400,000 mattresses being recycled throughout California every year. We will be dramatically increasing that number. We have to develop an effective communication campaign, and we've got to minimize the consumer recycling fee, and I'll go into some details about all of these points later. And lastly, within the law, we have to proactively address illegal dumping of mattresses. And even on the drive from the hotel over here this morning, we passed, I believe, 7 or 8 mattresses that were either being illegally dumped or just sitting on the curbside. This is a blight in communities across California, and it's something that we're doing to proactively address. So program funding. Per the law, this is a visible recycling fee that is visible on the receipt to all consumers in California, whether you are a hotel, a university, a military installation, an individual consumer, everybody gets assessed the recycling fee, which is $11 per unit. And that is effective on all sales, effective on December 30th, 2015. There are no free riders. We work in conjunction with CalRecycle Enforcement to make sure that there's no retailers that are not charging the fee. We need this revenue to make an effective system that works and works for everybody. And lastly, retailers are the ones that collect the fee. At the end of every month, they gather up the fees that they collected and they remit it to the MRC through a secure portal. We use those funds, we track the funds, we make sure that our revenue projections look good going into the future. The solid waste facility, you folks, a lot of you work for solid waste organizations, solid waste, whether you be private or municipal, you're a really important part of our collection network. Any solid waste facility that is permitted by CalRecycle is eligible to participate in the program. As a collection locations, we'll give you a contract, and we even pay you to collect on our behalf. So far, we have 85 contracted collection locations in California. These are solid waste folks. 22 pending contracts and another 75 to 100 possible. So for where we are into the program, being 3 months into it essentially, I'm very happy with where we are. It's not that we don't have a lot of work ahead of us, but considering where we are, this is good. And I'll show you a map later that demonstrates the coverage that we have throughout the state of California. Further expansion. There are only so many solid waste facilities in California. What do we do once we've exhausted that network? I have other options. We can do one-day collection events for rural parts of the state to augment that infrastructure, to fill in the blanks and make sure that people throughout the state who are paying the fee also have access to no-cost recycling. When we do these collection events, we pay for everything, all the labor, all the trans, all the recycling. And Lastly, what we'd like to do is coordinate these one-day collection events with things like paint care, electronic waste collection, or other community recycling events that you folks are holding within your communities. Mattress recyclers. I issued a large RFP in the spring of 2015 to determine where these mattresses are going to go whenever we bring them into the system. And through that, I've contracted with 7 companies operating 11 locations throughout California. I do believe I have sufficient capacity to process everything in the state. And in addition to that, we have a variety of transportation service providers as well as storage containers that solid waste organizations can use to hold the mattresses that you collect. This is an important number. So far, 3 months into the program, we've recycled at least 100,000 mattresses in California. It is, thank you. Thanks, this is really big for us. This is really, really important. Our Connecticut program has been operating since May of last year, and in that program, I think I'm at maybe 70, 80,000. California is 10 times larger than Connecticut. It is a gigantic undertaking. We're really, really happy with this number. But ultimately, I anticipate that I'll be recycling 1.5 million per year and then seeing that number grow to even over 2 million per year in California. So far, we had always anticipated we were going to have a soft launch to this program, that we weren't going to overwhelm the system with the number of mattresses coming through. We've done that pretty successfully. We had a soft launch. We didn't do a whole lot of advertising on day one. We did have 2 press conferences in the middle of January, but that was 2 weeks after the start date. And again, the strategy has been working out pretty well so far. Talked about illegal dumping earlier. Within the program plan, we identified a strategy to combat proactively illegal dumping in California. Now, the law itself is structured to sort of proactively get in front of illegal dumping so it doesn't happen to begin with. As a retailer, you're supposed to be taking back mattresses from consumers at no cost whenever you deliver a new mattress. That's number 1. Number 2, we've got a collection network of no-cost drop locations in the state, so you shouldn't have to illegally dump because there should be a no-cost drop location somewhere near you. And then 3rd, we are developing a consumer incentive. So if you're near certain locations, you can drop off a mattress and get a couple of bucks for it. For 2016, we've allocated $750,000 to this effort. If you are out there, if you run a solid waste facility, if you run an illegal dump group of people that do this in your community, they can sign up and they can pull from this pot of money. We pay out based on the number of units that are collected up to a maximum of $10 per unit pulled from your communities. The reporting is all online. It's pretty basic. We tried to make it so that it was not onerous. And I launched that 2 weeks ago. We've got 40 active registrants so far. I'd like to see more. Communications, we've got a couple of different websites. The Mattress Recycling Council is clunky. It doesn't mean anything to anybody except if you're in the industry or in a group of people like this. So for consumers, we developed Bye Bye Mattress. It's a flying mattress with springs coming out of it. It's whimsical. It's fun. We've got a collection site locator on there. We've got information about the recycling fee. We're bilingual so far, and we anticipate expanding that over the next 6 months. So what's next? I gotta stay over here, don't I? California, I have blanks that I need to fill in within the state. Again, I'm happy with where we are at this point, but Connecticut, I put that on the right just to demonstrate what that program looks like 8 months into it. So what's next? The locator, my locator is clunky. I need to work on that. I've hired a developer to put something together which is more user-friendly for retailers and consumers. They can easily find a place to drop off a mattress. Retailer access, I want more retailers having access to no-cost drop-off. And contracting, all of you folks that run solid waste facilities, I have had some challenges with contracting. This is a voluntary program. You don't have to participate, although we want you in it. I do have, some solid waste companies just would prefer to maintain their profits over meeting their recycling objectives and to maintain that 2020 goal of a 75% diversion in California. And with that, Rebecca says I have 35 seconds left.
Nice work. All right, time for some questions. Yes. Chris?
Like to take it back, have to be a fully solid waste facility permitted contractor, or can they be like a recycling center on one of the tiered permitting processes?
It's a good question. For right now, we are only contracting with permitted solid waste facilities in California. That's all prescribed in 254. At some point in the future, if I do not have enough recycling locations within the state, I'm going to expand the network beyond what I'm statutorily obligated to do. A couple months would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should repeat the question.
Contact me directly.
So the question was,
The question was, if you would like to host a one-day community collection event, you can contact me directly. I have 3 program staff in California now. Rodney is in back, he's waving his hand. Liz Wagner is right next to Rodney. It's Liz's second day on the job. Yay! Rodney's based out of San Francisco, Liz out of Sacramento, and then I've got Mark Patty, who is based out of LA. So my 3 state program coordinators will help take care of all those one-day events.
any other, John?
So a simple question from a consumer perspective, if someone goes to a mattress discounter, for example, and buys a new mattress, can they expect that that retailer will take away their old mattress?
When the retailer delivers a new mattress, they have to offer the consumer the option of taking back the old one. And that was something the authors of the law just built into the program, again, to mitigate illegal dumping.
Okay, one more question. John?
Is there an opportunity to recover some of these mattresses at the source for sanitation, for sanitizing and reuse?
Yeah, the retailers are really the first line of defense for that. Whenever they take these mattresses back, a lot of those mattresses are diverted off, not only for sanitation or reuse, but for rebuilding. Typically, a good condition mattress has a positive residual value. Rebuilders buy them for up to $10, $20 each. So they never enter my system. The goal of our program, let's keep them out of the landfill, which is why the solid waste facilities are sort of that last line of defense before they hit the landfill.